Today in the Ride Tech Garage, we've got one of our employees' 5th gen Camaro. He's already done a considerable amount of work to the car by way of cylinder heads, exhaust, and a camshaft, but now it's time to upgrade the suspension. The front kit includes a set of ride height and rebound adjustable struts, plus a pair of upgraded sway bar end links. The bolt-in rear system also includes ride height and rebound adjustable coilovers. Ride Tech's 5th gen Camaro coilover system contains all the brackets and hardware needed to make the installation easy. We're also going to be installing the Ride Tech rear subframe bushing kit. This bushing kit replaces the OEM rubber and dramatically increases the drivability and handling of your 5th gen Camaro. With the Ride Tech suspension upgrade, we're going to be able to lower the stance and tune the suspension to get the ride quality and handling we're looking for. We're going to start at the front of the vehicle by removing the factory struts. Carefully remove the ABS wiring harness and brake line brackets from the strut. Unbolt the factory sway bar end links. With the suspension properly supported, remove the strut and spring assembly from the car. Disassemble the new 2-piece upper mount. While holding the bottom mount in place, attach the top mount to the vehicle. Position the strut into place and attach the retaining nut. Using the supplied shims, attach the strut housing to the spindle. Tighten the mounting nut and install the rebound adjustment knobs. Turn the adjuster knob clockwise until it seats, then back it off about 12 clicks. That will get you in the middle of the adjustment range, and that's a really good place to start. Attach the ABS harness and brake line to the provided brackets. Install the new Ride Tech end links to the strut and to the sway bar. To set the initial ride height, turn the adjuster nut till it's snug on the spring. We'll set final ride height once the car is on the ground. To replace the rear cradle bushings, we'll begin by loosening all 4 cradle retaining bolts. To get the cradle low enough to replace those bushings, we're going to need to remove the rear sway bar and unbolt the lower mount on the shocks. Working from one side at a time, remove the cradle bolts, then lower the cradle slowly just enough to get the bushing removal tool in. Since we're going to be reusing the factory retaining washers, remove them from the old bushings. The factory bushings have a plastic tab that'll need to be removed prior to pushing the bushings through. With the bushing tool installed, tighten the nuts until the bushing gets pulled through the cradle. To aid in bushing removal, you can apply a small amount of heat to the bushing cradle housing. With the old bushing removed, pry down on the cradle just enough to get the new bushing in. Insert the inner sleeve and lower bushing in place. Using the factory retaining washer and bolt, reinstall the cradle to the frame. Repeat this process for the remaining cradle bushings.
They're good.
With the cradle back in place, disconnect the lower control arm from the spindle. Remove the factory upper shock mount bolts. Swing the lower control arm out of the way, then remove the factory spring and shock assembly. Using the supplied spacers, attach the RideTech coilover to the mounting plate. Bolt the upper mounting plate to the frame, then reattach the lower control arm. Mount the lower shock mount to the control arm and reattach the rear sway bar. With the installation complete, we'll do an alignment and set our final ride height. With the RideTech suspension system, you have the ability to get a more aggressive stance and the adjustability to tune the ride quality and handling to your specific needs.